Alright.
There we go.
Okay. This is our group, the Beliebers. And for our first one, I did the UDL Book Builder. This is a site in which you can create and find books for your students, which can be read aloud to them, and the students can follow along. This tool allows them to search already created books. You can search using the author, the illustrator, the title, the school it was made at, the grade levels, content area, genre, and the different language you might want it to be in. When you open the book, you just press play, and it will begin reading to you. And then you have to flip through the pages, and every time you turn to a new page, you have to press play so it begins reading. And then you're able to, as a teacher or a student, create your own. You have to include your book title, the credits, the content area, the genre, the grade level. If you want the book to be in English or a different language, you can select it. And then you get to select like fun animal coaches to read the story to the students. And then you go through and add the text and the pictures of your book and pick out the characters' voices to read it aloud. And then there are tips on the side for the teachers on what to discuss with your students as they read it. For my aha moment for the classroom, I thought this would be great for students reading on their own, just because for struggling readers it is able to read to them, and this can help them become confident because they can learn the story through listening to it from other people. And then it also allows them to, they don't have to listen to the story. They can just read it themselves and listen if they're struggling with something to help them get through it, because I know I've seen a lot of kids get really frustrated when reading just because they can't read it, and this would be a great tool to help them get through it and then build their confidence as they're able to read it. And then the students can also create their own, and they can practice their reading skills by having them read it aloud. They would be the voice throughout the book. For my critical insights, I said this reminded me a lot of the app Bookflix that's used in a lot of classrooms, where the students can listen to the story or watch a video of the story, and it helps them just enjoy reading a little more because it's a fun and different way to do it. However, I think that students can become too dependent on listening. So I think as a teacher, you need to set guidelines and make sure that you're encouraging them and setting high expectations for them to want to read it out loud themselves instead of relying on the book reading to them. And I also think that sometimes it's difficult for them to get on, type in websites. So this would be one of those things you could save into your history and just easily let your kids get onto. So that is the UDL Book Builder.
I did Formule, which is Formule. It reminded me a lot of Google Forms, like we made for our website, but it has so many more options than Google Forms. They have a lot of different things, and you can set up forms. You can create all different kinds of forms, and you can either create your own form from the beginning, or you can choose a pre-made one. And you can also set this up so that other teachers can access your form. Like you can allow your co-workers into your account so that they can see and they can edit it too. If they want a copy and they want to change it for their room, they can change it to meet what they need to. Once the forms are created, sent out and answered by users, and if you send it out to parents and the parents send it back, Formule allows users to create reports so that if all of my parents responded or some of my parents responded, I could pull up a report and it would show me who responded, what they said. It's really cool because it puts it all into one spreadsheet, and then you don't have to go searching for who responded, who didn't, and what they each said. You can even access like payments on Formule, which is kind of useful for in the education field. Even though I don't know how many times you'd actually use the payment plan, which it's also a little sketchy to me because anything over money online is can be a little sketchy, but it's really cool that you have the ability to do that on this website. Like the Google form, you can embed Formule into different things too. Like if I made a Formule form, I could put that into my class website like I did the Google form. And even though, and like since you can embed it into different things, people can access it all the time and at different times, so not everybody's responding at the same time. So you can set up Formula to give you notifications when people respond and what they said when they did respond. Overall, I thought that Formula was really interesting. It seemed to offer a lot more choices and options than Google Forms, and it was a little more creative, like you could pick color schemes and designs and add pictures. It was just really, you could really make it geared towards kids because you could really dress it up in different ways. And that's it for Formule.
Well, I like that tool. I think it would be really good for teachers to be able to put maybe like an assignment on, and then their kids can go and access it through there. Because I've seen that a lot in the classroom now where they go through like a file and they are able to like put their name and they just save it to the computer. And I think it would make it a lot easier for the teacher because they can just go through there instead of having to like lug a bunch of papers home. They can just access it through the computer.
And they even have a category on there where you can label like a folder. Like I could make it assignment number 3 and add all of the like parents and kids to it so that they can access it and turn it back into that folder.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and I like that the teacher is able to send it to her coworkers as well, because we're working on that a lot right now in my internship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're creating websites through Wix, and they're and they are making it so that everyone has access to it, so they can send any like forms to each other and have access to any type of site. I have no idea where she went. Oh God.
Well, let's just go ahead and talk about your other one. Do you have your other one?
Yes.
Go ahead and talk about it, and then we'll try and figure out how to add Caitlin in, or if not, at least we'll have ours done when we. Okay.
And then I did another one where it was the cast, so under the same UDL type form. The people that created that are they created a cast science writer, and this tool, it allows you to create a scientific research. It's pretty much just the scientific method, and it lays it out for the students. So you can start your own project, and then you have to give a name, and you create your hypothesis or research question, and for each part of the scientific method, there's a draft, revise, and edit, which I thought was great for the writing process. It integrates that really well. And because you have to do those things, it makes it so the kids can work on their ability to remember the writing process and go through it and make sure that they really are checking through their work. And then the same animals that were in the UDL book builder are in this, and they give the kids examples. You can press it and give the kids examples on what it's supposed to look like, what
right.
a hypothesis is supposed to look like, what happens when you're revising it, what happens when you're editing it, and then it gives you little tips on the side as well. And so from there, once you get through all three of those for your hypothesis, you move into your introduction, then you move into the methods, the results, and the conclusion, and then you're able to view the full report. So it's a really easy way for them to learn the scientific method, and it's different because I don't think you really see that in the classroom very much because you don't get a chance to do that kind of project, but I think you could integrate this really well with writing so they can use it to guide their own science project and work through the writing process. So it's a good way to integrate science into the classroom, especially in the primary grades, K through 2, you don't teach science. You have to integrate it to your normal subjects, so math and reading, and I think this would be a great way to do that. And I can honestly say I've never really seen this in any of my field placements or my internship, just because we don't really work a lot with science. But I have seen the writing process chart where the kids are on revise, and then they're on their draft, and then they're revising, and they're editing, and they're publishing. So I thought that related really well to that. So it's a way so they can see it on the computer in a different way than they would normally see it. And the only problem I really saw with it is the kids going back over it. I know that sometimes it's not the most fun thing to go through your work when it constantly pops up, but I think if you went through with the kids and did one together, you could really improve on that and have the kids work through it.
No, definitely, I agree. The revise and edit is really cool too. I didn't expect it to have that. That's really nice for teachers because it helps them not have to go through every single student, and it helps the students see what they've done wrong or messed up on and how they could fix it.
Yeah, I liked that part a lot. I thought that was interesting. I didn't notice it when I first went through it, and then I was going through it myself trying to figure out how the whole website worked, and I noticed that it kept taking me the same thing, and then I realized that it was having me revise it and edit it, and I thought it was a great tool for them to have.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, and my second one, I did Book Wizard, which is it's off of Scholastic, the book website. Book Wizard helps teachers find books that align with grade levels. So when you go on Book Wizard, you can click on grade level or reading level or any kind of category, and it'll narrow down the search and help you find books. And it bases the level of the reader based from a scale of 1 to 13. So there's a slider on Book Wizard, and you figure out where you think they are or what kind of book you think that level reader needs, and it'll help you narrow down your search. Another thing I thought that was really cool on Book Wizard was that you can type in a name of a book that you like. Like I typed in "If You Give a Mouse a Cookie," and that's one of my favorite kids' books, and it brought in, you click find books like this, and it'll bring up, it brought up like a list of like 20 books that were in the same reading level or the same genre or written by the same author. Like it gave you a bunch of options of books that were like the one that you said you liked in the beginning. And then when you go on, or like when you, it gives you the list of books that they think you would like. It gives you the title, the author, the grade level, the reading level, and the genre. And then there's even a section off to the right side of the book that gives you an option to buy the book or download the book if it's able to be downloaded for free, which is really nice because it's nice to not have to buy books if you get them for free online. I just really think this website is making teachers' jobs a little easier because you might not have to run to the library every time you need a certain book or a book like a book you already have. You can get on Book Wizard and it'll tell you, hey, look, here are 5 books that are like the book that you just read. And I just think that it's really helpful. And I've used it a few times before, but I never knew that it had all of this it did all of this when I used it before. So it was really interesting to find out. And I think teachers would use it a lot if they knew what it actually did.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I like that it talks about the different levels because depending on the grade level, you're either doing Lexile, which is the higher levels, and you're basing it off of a number, and then the lower levels you're doing, you're basing it off of like their best testing scores, and it's like A through Z. And I like that it is able to tell you what level the kids are on and recommend books, especially if the kids are able to get on the website to recommend books for them, so that
It seems
sometimes
friendly too. Like I think any child would be able to figure out how to use the website. It was very kid friendly.
yeah, I liked how it was very how it was set up the way you were describing it, because I've seen kids where they go through the shelves in the classroom library and they are a certain Lexile or on a certain level, and they can't find a book that they like that's on their level. But if this
Right.
is allowed to recommend books based on what they've already done, maybe it'd be easier for them to go to the library in the morning or during their media time and just be able to find that book.
Yeah, you're right. All right. I guess I don't know. I guess we'll try and figure out how to put Caitlin back in. Should we just end it for now? We'll
Yeah.
end it and upload it to YouTube, and then we'll try and figure it out.
Okay.